She leaves her tower, climbs into a boat, and floats gently toward Camelot. But she will never arrive. This is the Lady of Shalott, and this is the moment her story ends. When I first saw the painting, many years ago in Tate Britain, I was stunned, not just by the detail and the richness of colour, but by the stillness of the scene and the calmness of the woman in the boat. And looking at her, I remember thinking, she doesn't seem so Victorian. She looks real, modern, like someone I felt I could relate to. John William Waterhouse painted The Lady of Shalott in 1888, inspired by the poem by Alfred Lord Tennyson. But even today, more than a century later, she doesn't feel trapped in the 1800s. Look closely, the flowing hair, the long white gown, the necklace and headband. She is calm, natural, soulful. She could almost be a 1970s bohemian, a singer or a model. She wouldn't look out of place at Woodstock or among the beautiful people searching for a deeper truth. We might even see her today walking the streets or sitting quietly in a city park. Often called a late Pre-Raphaelite, Waterhouse was born in Rome in 1849 to parents who were also painters. He later moved to England and studied at the Royal Academy, first sculpture and then painting. He began by painting classical subjects in the academic style, smooth brushwork, idealized figures, and scenes from history and myth. But over time, something changed. His style softened. His subjects became more emotional and more poetic. You can almost see him turning towards a different kind of art. He would later go on to embrace the Pre-Raphaelite Brotherhood's style and subject matter. The PRB, as they were known, were the rebels of Victorian art, turning away from industrial progress to reimagine a world full of beauty, myth, emotions, nature, and wonder. They were, in many ways, the original counterculture, kindred spirits to the dreamers and truth seekers of the 1960s and 70s, just swapping flowing robes and medieval tales with denim and folk rock. And like the Pre-Raphaelites, Waterhouse was drawn to the romantic poetry of Alfred Lord Tennyson, and especially The Lady of Shalott, which he would paint not once, but 3 times. Our painting is based on this part of the poem. Have a listen.
And down the river's dim expanse, like some bold seer in a trance, seeing all his own mischance, with a glassy countenance, did she look to Camelot. And at the closing of the day, she loosed the chain, and down she lay. The broad stream bore her far away, the Lady of Shalott.
In Tennyson's poem, Helena of Astolat, the Lady of Shalott, lives alone in a tower, cursed to see the world only through reflections, and weaving what she sees into a tapestry. But one day she glimpses the knight Lancelot, and can't resist looking directly at him. The mirror cracks, and the curse is fulfilled. She leaves her tower, climbs into a boat, and floats down the river towards Camelot. But she will never arrive. The painting also tells her story through its rich symbolism. The boat is her funeral barge, drifting between life and beyond. The flickering candle, her life nearly gone. The crucifix in the bow signals sacrifice and perhaps spiritual peace. And the tapestry which was once her whole world, now lies tangled at her feet. Even the chain in her hand, she's now unbound, but the spell still binds. And then there's her expression. She's not sad, she is aware of her decision, and defiant, and she's chosen to look, to live, even if it's only for a moment. This was not expected from women at the time. Victorian women were supposed to be subservient, and certainly they were not supposed to decide their own fate. But Elaine is not a damsel in distress. Waterhouse did not paint this woman as a victim. He gave her agency, the ability to decide. That's what makes her feel so modern. She's someone who broke out of confinement to see the real world and paid the price. She's graceful and dignified, and yet the apprehension in her eyes is very human. She is a person, not a myth. This is not a story about a curse. It is a portrait of a woman who wanted to be herself. It is a portrait of a woman who wanted to act, to step outside the world she's told to stay in, to meet her fate with grace and stoic pride. The Lady of Shalott remains afloat, forever silent, and yet is a symbol of defiance, who speaks to us across time through poetry and paint. That was my take on the Lady of Shalott. What did you think? Do you know of any other painting that is timeless and relevant today? Let me know in the comments. I would love to hear your thoughts. So, thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe if you'd like to see more. Until next time, take care.